to discuss something. I'm going to use a very close friend slash client of mine. I'm gonna use their dog as an example. Um, and it's nothing bad. It's information that people don't necessarily know. So if you're watching this, it's nothing bad. So too much of anything um can ruin a dog. It don't matter what it is. You know, too much of activities, too much of just laying around the house, too much of not happening to really listen, too much of you just talking to people that's around you, around your dog, too much of food, too much of riding in a car, too much of not riding in a car, um, too much of not eating or not enough, on the opposite end of, of being too much of time without, um, too much freedom. Um, so as a sport dog, she she loves this dog, and um, I'm in her back pocket when it comes to this dog. I have raised the dog for about a year and a half. Super dog. With me, he's snappy. Everything. When I say snappy, I mean like fast. He's when he's doing all of his behaviors, his bite work, his engagement with me, everything is extremely strong, and that's what you need to carry over into the personal protection in sport world. Daryl Cole, I am in Allen, Texas. So that's what you need when you carry over into the sport world. You need something that, and this dog is a sport dog. He does PSA. You need that quickness, that power, that frustration when it comes to the dog staring at you like, give it to me, give it to me. I know you got it. You need that. So the thing is that what happens with owners is that they give their dogs too much of anything. Oh yeah, too much of love, our own love. Yes, I train other people dogs for a fee. Um, I should have my in some of my videos in the description. It should have my contact information. So too much of love, human love, too much of it can ruin a dog. You'll go out, you'll think the dog's supposed to perform, and then the dog, uh, in return, tells you that y'all either don't work on certain things, or the dog tells you that it doesn't understand, etc. All right, dogs not like people. I can go learn something, right? I can go learn it, and then I could turn around, go off for a year, and then come back and ride a bike again, right? I can learn how to ride a bike and go off for a year, never ride a bike again, and then come back and ride a bike. Now, does it absolutely leaves the dog's mind if the dog was conditioned properly and understands the behavior? No, it doesn't leave it. It may not be as crisp, it might not be as fast, it might not be as precise, whatever their behavior is, if he was to take a long time, if he really knows the behavior. But when a dog is learning how to be with a person for the first time, or if a dog is learning new things, if you leave it too soon, or if you don't treat the dog the way that it's supposed to be treated in the process of it learning with you, then yes, the dog will get in a state of mind to where it A feels pressured, or B just don't understand or don't necessarily feel like that it has to do what you want it to do in order to keep going. So when an owner has a dog that they want to basically perform at a high level, the key is balancing. I know that that's a direct or a broad answer, but balancing is very important. Let me tell you why. If my dog has too much of love, then the relation between me and my dog will be that this is what the dog is going to say, this is what you're supposed to do. and nothing else. So then when it's time to get on to your dog, the dog sees a bipolar person. Um, the dog will see a bipolar person. I just read a message. I'll get to that. The dog says that I love, love, love on this person. I'm all up under them, and then the dog don't respond the way that you want to because now you're tired of loving, and then now you want to do something else, and then you make the dog do something they don't do it right away, and then all of a sudden you're upset. So too much love can really hinder the process. Then, like I say, with the bipolar side, the dog can love you to death, but then once the dog start to realize um, that you like to do activities, but you're not giving them enough uh, rewards, or if you overdoing it, you get to working a dog and you just overdoing it, then the dog will becomes to be a little pressured. The dog will become a little bit more sensitive to like commands and stuff like that. So balance tells you that it's not too much of anything. All right, I want to be able to say I don't put my dog on a place bed too long. I don't allow my dog to not get on a place bed for a um these flies. I don't want to put my dog on a place bed too long. I don't want my dog to not go to the place bed within a longer time frame. Why? Because the balance will be off. If my dog don't never go to the place bed and I want my dog to go to the place bed, then what happens? My dog not gonna do it. If my dog is always on it and on it 24/7, then what happens? Then the dog forms a behavior or an association with the place bed. I don't want it to be too much on either end. I don't always want to play with my dog. I don't always want to not play with my dog. I don't always want to keep my dog in a crate. I don't also always want to not have my dog to go into a crate. The balance is that when you find that your dog performance level is determined by the balance of not doing too much in any direction, that's what you go with. So I'm gonna say this: if the dog is in the crate, but then when you get home, it immediately come out the crate, use the bathroom, come in, run around the house, do whatever it wants to do, lay on the place bed, all up under you, etc. Then you go work the dog. The dog excitement level isn't um the dog excitement level isn't as high for you. Why? Because the dogs start to realize that the value of you has lessened because it really just know that the lifestyle that it has with you. It's a big difference. So if a dog is, let's say the opposite, let's say the dog goes into a crate, come out, spend a little time with me, and then go back into the crate, then the dog is building dopamine. Okay, the dog is building dopamine that says, hey, where is that guy at? We need to do something. We want to do something. So therefore, when the next time that I go take the dog out, the dog is going to be excited. The dog is going to say, what's up, what we're doing, etc. Take the dog out, work with it a little bit, put it back. Within a day, it's never like the teeter, like the balancing scale. Appreciate you, appreciate you, Vanguard dog. That's what's up. Appreciate it. Same here. When you look at the time frame that the dog has been in the crate and the time frame that the dog has been out, depending on what your goal is, you will see that the dog's scale does this. All right. Some people have it too much to where the dog doesn't be in the crate at all, or their dog is always in the crate. And then you'll start seeing that there's a imbalance when it's time to work the dog or have the relationship with whatever your relationship is with your dog. If the dog is, let's say, always doing bite work, a million. We get this all the time. Okay, bite work is the example. And when I talk, man, I kind of think at the same time, and I kind of just keep flowing. But 9 times out of 10, the reason why it sounds like that I'm all over the place is because I have the objective. I know exactly what the goal is in my head, and that's what I'm balancing on. So we're talking about too much of something. So let's say bite work. Let's say if the dog don't have enough bite work, right? So this is the balancing scale straight up. So if we go too far to where it's too much bite work, then now when you take your dog out, and when they're around decoys, etc., then they can't focus because they done had overly, excessively, too much. I'm trying to put it together. Too much of something, too much bite work. So now the dog isn't balanced, right? The dog can't think outside of biting. So the dog keeps saying, I'm just gonna go, I'm just gonna go. Forget what you're talking about. I've learned that when I'm with you, this is all we do. That challenge is higher than anything. Boom, I'm cracked out. I got too much bite work. Or let's say not enough, right? Let's say they don't have enough bite work. So then when you start to tell the dog to bite, then it takes the dog too long to process what's going on. Therefore, the dog don't necessarily want to do any damn bite work, or it like I say, it takes too long for the dog to process. But if that dog had that balance, the dog comes out, the dog bites every so often, the dog does obedience, the dog gets rewards from you, and the rewards is just as exciting, and the dog accomplish behaviors. They may get a bite, they might get the reward. The dog relationship with you says that I don't know what I'm gonna get, but whatever my owner tells me to do, I get something, and it don't matter if it's that or that, that as in decoy or that as in toy from you or food. It has to be a balance. And then now you go tell the dog to bite. He say okay. Then you tell the dog not to bite and come to me and heal with me. And then the dog says okay. Um, what's another example? Let's just say a family pet, right? So if the pet has been to stores all his whole life and just everywhere it goes, too much, let's say is they haven't been properly, uh, the owner hasn't made proper associations with being out all the time. If it's been doing that since it was a puppy, I've been seeing dogs that have been out too much and they become fearful, right? By having too much, because a dog likes to learn or find out what they like or what they don't like. So if you're not doing it the right way, and if it's too much, then either you A, don't have control over your dog in that environment, even though it's not scared of the environment, or B, the dog is really scared of the environment because you haven't really put a lot of time and effort into training. You just thinking about going shopping, right? So that's too much of it. Now let's say not enough. The same rules apply. The dog is don't have enough experience going out, exposure going out. The dog don't necessarily understands what you want out of them in these environments, because the dog is fearful, because the dog is the unknown to the dog. Dog really don't know how it feel to be out in these places. Therefore, the dog don't like being there. Or in reverse of not having it for a while, let's say the dog haven't been out for a while, then they go out and they're extremely excited, and you can't control them because now everything that they see is too much to process, and the excitement level is too high. But if there was a balance, right? Right, if there was a balance, the dog has been out properly, properly socialized with people, and then properly trained in different environments. And then the dog goes home, work on some things, come out, apply those things out. It's not too much, it's not too less, it's a balance. So remember that too much of anything can be bad. Too much love, too much not enough love, um, too much food. Let's do food. Dog don't have enough food. Don't eat it all. Dog becomes weak. Dog becomes sick. Dog, you know, we know. Too much food. Dog don't listen. uh, dog is unhealthy, dog don't necessarily want to do anything, etc. Balance. Some food keep the excitement going, keep the anticipation high, keep the dopamine high. Boom. Feeding. You know, the dog may not get the food right then and there. Feed like you're supposed to, but at the same time, don't overdo it, and don't, what I'm saying, don't withhold too much. I always need balance. Take care. Oh well, let me get to these answers right quick. Terrence Parks, do you train other people dog? Yes. How can a Rottweiler of 15 months be trained for obeying the orders? Use food. If you look at, so my number is 214-620-9511. You send me a text message, I can get you a hold of an online program that I run currently. I would like to talk to you. Okay, 214-620-9511. Contact that number. Okay. Love from Floyd. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Vanguard K9 dog trainers. That's what's up, man. I love to see people working with dogs. See, a lot of people have problems. A lot of people have problems with folks training dogs, etc. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to have that problem because I've always felt like that it was just my thing, and I think naturally as people we kind of get misconstrued with what people are doing versus what you're doing. And then I had to do a lot of studying. I had to do a lot of, self care on myself to realize that what's for other people isn't necessarily for you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I feel like that I'm a good guy. I feel like that I'm misunderstood sometimes. But naturally, as a person, the way that society is trained us, I feel like, or that I know for a fact of what most people problems is that they don't like to see other people succeed because of where they are in their life, and they feel like that life is um limited. What is that? Yeah, limited. There's no abundance in it. Therefore, that's the route that you take. So I really enjoy to know that people are working with these dogs and trying to figure it out because it's an animal that's really misunderstood. I think just because of the internet that there's more people doing it, but at the same time, it's a beautiful thing when you got people that's willing to take on that task and then educate themselves and then be that voice for the dogs. If I'm doing it and I see other people doing it, it don't make sense for me to get upset. It only makes sense for me to be excited because now I get to help somebody else that wants to take their knowledge to the next level, etc. It also gives me a peace of mind now because I have to reverse my thinking from, you know, limited thinking that if another person is doing it, then they're still in the spotlight, etc. This was a long time ago. I do not think like this no more. It actually makes me happy, but I had to program my mind that way. Therefore, I started getting better results. But it really makes sense when now when I see somebody doing that thing, so I can honestly tell somebody, man, congratulations. I can honestly tell somebody I'm proud of them and to keep doing their thing because no matter what it is, I don't care if everybody in the world was a dog trainer, the game would just change. You have to evolve and develop into something different to make your living. But at the same time, if that's what happens, that happens. Only your belief will determine your outcome. So it is what it is. So for sure, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you out there in Florida. I just bought your book 10 minutes ago. I want to learn how to train my pitties. Do you have a training course? Yes, so I'm going to have a online course here real soon where I don't have to do as much talking, but I do have a solution for people that wants to like kind of communicate with me and then see me post how-to videos. The platform that I'm using now, sometimes it may seem like it's a little slow, meaning that I might not post as much, but I'm always on there. I'm just looking for people's feedback. So it's a program that I use, or it's a platform that I use so people can interact with me, see my how-to videos. If I come up with like how-to videos on my own, then I'll just post it and say, hey, this is what I'm covering for about a week, and then I'll be done. But for whatever that topic is, but I do like to get with people on there, answer their questions, etc. So for sure, um, get my contact information. Once again, it's 214-620-9511. Text me is the best way to contact me, and then all of those. I give you all of that information, and you can join and be amongst some other people that's trying to do great things with the animals. But I'm out. See you.